111 W.P.O.T. Sports brings you the Fight Pics. Are you ready for UFC 249? Ferguson versus Jaynes. That's right, 111 W.P.O.T. FM. Wildman Steve here, W.P.O.T. Sports, in preparation for a brand new UFC event, 249. We thought it was scrapped. We thought it wasn't going to happen, but it turns out it is going to happen, but it's going to happen in an empty arena. And that's okay, as long as they bring the sports back. It's been a long drought. W.P.O.T. Sports has been hurting the Americas, have been hurting North, South, East, and West. We're all hurting, and we're ready to bring sports back. So we are proud to give you our W.P.O.T. Sports Fight Picks for UFC 249, Ferguson versus Jaynes. And what's the difference between our Fight Pick shows and other Fight Pick shows? We do our Fight Picks on weed. Okay. Okay. Oh, whoa. Well, that's right. Empty arena, folks. UFC 249. We're ready to give you our Fight Picks, man. Kick back. Groove out, man. Listen to this, dudes. UFC 245. Gonna be live, no audience, and we got some pretty good bouts, pretty competitive, not the most unpredictable bouts, but still a pretty stacked card. We even have some mentionables in our prelim bouts, and we're gonna mention one right now. We're gonna start off with Vicente Luque versus Luque Price, a rematch in which the first time around Vicente Luque did defeat Luque Price. And most likely, he's going to defeat Luque Price again. I mean, I have seen Luque Price in action, and sometimes he's got those highlights, but it's usually highlights against a scrub that anybody could beat. So my money, the smart money, is going to go on Vicente Luque to repeat that victory, and that will be prediction number 1 off of bong hit number 1. Always remember, that's bong hit number 1 going with prediction number 1. Now, next up, we have some other mentionable fights in the prelims. We don't usually do the prelims, but this one's got some pretty good ones. We got Rio Hall taking on Jacare Souza. Now, that one's a pretty hard fight to call there. It might not have a lot of meaning. Neither of them's going to be champ, but it's pretty hard to call there. If Jacare gets him to the ground, it's all Souza. If Hall can keep him at the end of his punches, it's all Hall. And W.P.O.T. Sports is going to go ahead and make the prediction that Uriah Hall will win by decision, doing just that, keeping Souza at the end of his punches. You know, another good prelim bout, we got Albuquerque's own karate hottie, Michelle Waterson, taking on the Cookie Monster, little Carla Esparza, and I seen them both fight Joanna John Jacek. And John Jacek did defeat both of them, but I think that the karate hottie, Michelle Waterson, just had a little bit more heart in that game, where Cookie Monster was running away. So Wildman Steve and W.P.O.T. Sports are going to place their money on Michelle Waterson, the karate hottie, for the win. And we'll move on to that Cowboy versus Pettis 2 rematch, a battle between who gives a shit and what the fuck. And, you know, hey, whatever. It's a good one. Neither of them are going to be champs again, but they are both legends. And I say that Pettis will win once again, just repeating the victory that he had the first time. Too much speed, too much talent for the Cowboy. We know what happens to the Cowboy when he runs up against a lot of speed and talent. And then, of course, on the main card, we got a monster movie, a sci-fi thriller, Francis Ngannou versus Josh Rosenstruck. Rosenstruck! Sounds like an AC/DC song. Ngannou versus Rosenstruck for the Friday night sci-fi movie of the week, in which there will be thunder in that empty arena. And Francis Ngannou will be the one creating that thunder when he knocks out Josh Rosenstruck live in front of no one. And then, you know, we got our co-main event, which is also a very important fight, one the Wildman is looking forward to. We've got Dominick Cruz taking on Henry Cejudo. Cruz versus Cejudo. I do not know why Cruz gets a shot, but Henry Cejudo is the toughest little midget I have ever seen. He would beat all of the Willy Wonka midgets in one day. Henry Cejudo, I believe, is going to beat Dominick Cruz, who's been sitting on the chair. And now Henry Cejudo is going to beat Dominick Cruz and take all the money. Henry Cejudo for the win over Dominick Cruz off of the chair. I bet he's got the hemorrhoids. But it's going to be a hell of a co-main event. Be sure to tune in for that one. It's going to be fast-paced, action-packed, and a lot of heart stomp. I say Henry Cejudo is going to win as well. I just think Dominick Cruz is a little bit over the hill. He did lose to Cody Garbrandt, people. And then, of course, we've got the main event. Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. And that's going to be a fun one. Hopefully, I hope that Gaethje can get a shot in or two and really, make him pay for that victory. Most likely Tony Ferguson is going to win. Smart money says Ferguson. W.P.O.T says Ferguson. But my heart says Justin Gaethje. So it would be like the wild man, everybody. Cheer for Justin Gaethje, but put your money on Tony Ferguson for the win. But I like Justin Gaethje, and I hope he gets that Super Bowl Sunday knockout punch. You never know. It's the UFC. On any given Saturday, anything could happen. 111 W.P.O.T. Sports here. Still haven't heard from Colby. Where's Colby the Bigot Covington? He hasn't been around. He hasn't said much. But then again, he did get his jaw broke.